It is time to call the Village of Terrace Park Council meeting of January 13, 2026 to order. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Lyons, would you please call the roll?
Here.
Ingebrigtsen.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Lindell.
Here.
Sharp.
Here.
Worthland.
Here.
Moving on to the next item is the approval of the meeting minutes from December 9, 2025. Has everyone had a chance to review them? Are there any suggestions, corrections, or deletions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I will sign these. We shall move on. Are there any residents that would like to address council? If there are, please come to the podium, give us your name, your address, and tell us what it is you want us to hear.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Jeff LeMay. I live at 707 Floral Avenue,
You were sitting over there before.
Terrace Park, Ohio. I'd like to give the year-end financial results. We do this customarily at the end of the year, beginning of January, and hopefully gives you an outlook and helps you plan going forward. If you'll look at this document that's in your folder, the color tabular data, if you look to the far right, the most important number for me and for us is then the bottom right, the 8.7. That's the number of months of cash on hand. We have a goal to maintain at least 6 months on hand. We ended up slightly better than what we had planned and budgeted. Our spending this year was plus 5%. Some of that was the work that we did with fire and EMS to increase their budget. I will tell you, across all of the cost centers, and there's probably 70 or 80 of them, we did make a couple adjustments late in the year. They were small, but all of them were under budget. So that's great work by the departments and by Katie. From a revenue standpoint, we were plus, 4% versus what the previous year. Not a big number in any one particular cost center or revenue center. Real estate revenue was slightly higher than what we had budgeted. The water fund came in higher than what we projected, a bit on trees and also earnings on investment, but none of them were overwhelming. So we're in good financial shape as we approach this next year with the two big spending items that we have projected. If you look at this one, this is the graph or the line chart. Again, the most important one for me is the red line, which is, again, our months of cash on hand. I'm projecting that this year, we will dip below the 6 months of cash on hand because we're going to invest in the Elm Street water line. We're going to invest in the upgraded or refurbished EMS vehicle. But the out years look positive because of the passage of the levy. Right? So I expect we'll return to 7, 8, 9, 10 months of cash on hand in the out years. We just need to manage our way through this next year as we make those two big capital investments. Any questions?
Quick one, Jeff, can you confirm that after the levy passage, we will begin to see those funds is that in 2027?
Yeah, great question. So tax rates are effective January 1st.
Right.
They'll collect the first 6 months, January through June. We will not begin seeing that revenue until early 2027. Okay. Taxes are 6 months in arrears.
Right. Okay.
So, and Katie will do her magic work to get it in, a couple months early. So we'll get it in February, March of 2027. Okay? That's great. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks
Thank
again
you.
for your prior service to the village. Thank you, Jeff. Are there any other residents or any other speakers that would like to? Swearing in. Yes. If there are, can you hold on for a second? Public safety, how about if we have a change to the agenda, Mrs. Ingebrigtsen?
Sounds great, Mayor.
Let's do it.
Okay. We have two resolutions this evening to swear in new members of our EMS services. and police department. So first, I will introduce and advance to the third reading, Resolution Number 1-1, 2026, appointing Victoria Tremaine as full-time police officer for the Village of Terrace Park Police Department and declaring an emergency.
Second?
Hold on, I think right now we're doing EMS.
Oh,
Victoria was already sworn in, she's moving from part-time to full-time.
So we can just handle that under your normal report. This is just the swearing in
oh,
of
Jennifer Van Fleet.
Jennifer Van Vliet.
okay, so we're not swearing in okay, sorry, I got that confused.
No.
Okay,
If the people out there, I screwed it up, you get what you pay for. Yeah, so it would just be Resolution 1-2.
it's just 1, 2, okay.
Yes.
My apologies.
Nope.
Resolution 1-2, 2026. Consent of council to the appointment by the mayor of Jennifer Van Fleet to the Volunteer Emergency Medical Services Department of the Village of Terrace Park.
Second?
Gasky?
Aye.
Ingebrigtsen?
Aye.
Lehman?
Aye.
Lindell?
Aye.
Sharp? Aye. Worthland? Aye.
And I move to adopt the resolution as an emergency.
Second?
Gasky?
Aye.
Ingebrigtsen?
Aye.
Lehman?
Aye.
Lindell?
Aye.
Sharp? Aye. Worthland? Aye.
Great. Swearing in kind of night. I'm Tom. Jennifer. Thank you for your service. If you please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jennifer Van Fleet,
I, Jennifer Van Fleet,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
will discharge the duties
will discharge the duties
of emergency medical technician
of the emergency medical technician
for the Village of Terrace Park, Ohio.
for the Village of Terrace Park, Ohio.
Thank you for your service. We very much appreciate it. Feel free to stay or feel free to go.
I got one.
Work, John.
Documentarian.
Documentarian, I'm telling you, 10 years, man.
All right, Mr. Mayor, get your act together. Okay, is there anybody else out there that's a resident or other type of visitor that would like to address council? If so, please come to the podium, give us your name, address, and tell it is what you want us to hear. Representative Baker, you're silent tonight?
Here to say hi.
Great. Well, something pops to your mind, just put your hand up, and we can try to work you into this robust schedule we have. All right. Reports of village officials. We have a new year, which means we need to do a couple things. So we've already done 4 of those, which is swear some people in. But we also need to have a vice mayor, or president pro tem, if you will, as our statute calls it. In the off chance that I get incapacitated, removed, as Jeff Forbes reminded me that I can be removed. Or just can't be here, they would then serve in the place of the mayor, or if the mayor can't run a meeting, they would run that meeting. I can tell you, and since I've been mayor, which has been a while, I think Jeff LeMay, the prior vice mayor, did it once. So it's not a heavy lift. However, John Gasky, do you have any thoughts on this topic?
I do have some thoughts. Accordingly, I'd like to move that council appoint Pax Lindell as vice mayor of the Village of Terrace Park, effective immediately.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Do we need a roll call or just a voice?
Yeah, voice vote is fine.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
You voted for yourself. Congratulations. I thought you were going to be in there.
Voting is an important thing.
There you go.
All right. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, Pax.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations. Taking that out, welcome all to the new council people. Welcome back to the ones who were reelected. I don't have a whole lot. This is the first council meeting of the year. So we've finished one year. We're ready to do another one. We're in great hands. I really, really like where we are, the diversity of thought that we have here. We have new committees. I announced them in the December meeting, but let's go through them one more time. Buildings and Grounds will be chaired by Kyle Lehman, and the other members are Pat Worthland and Pax Lindell. Finances, Regina Sharp, and Lauren Ingebrigtsen and John Gasky will assist there. Planning and Zoning is John Gasky with Pat Worthland and Pax Lindell. Public Safety, Lauren Ingebrigtsen will continue to keep that one moving forward in the great direction that we are, supported by council people Lehman and Sharp. Public Works, Pax Lindell, the vice mayor, will run that with Lehman and Ingebrigtsen, and Rules and Law, Pat Worthland, with Gasky and Sharp. And for those new people, just so you know how we kind of like to run these, there can be issues that are brought up from time to time. You get an email, you get a, hey, can I borrow you for a second? And, when you're at a cocktail party, which is usually how it happens, and they have an idea, or they have a thought, or they have a suggestion, someone comes here and they have something. Anything that someone will bring up and say, hey, have you thought of, provided it's just not out there. Sometimes you'll get some of those out there's. Those they just want to be heard. But ones that you look and say, hey, you know what, we should probably kick that around, they'll fall within one of those committees. And so what'll happen is maybe you bring it to me, or you bring it to Jerry, or you bring it to Katie, and we'll say, that's a really good buildings and grounds committee meeting where you can meet. You got to let Katie know, she'll organize it because it has to be publicly noticed. And you banter it around and you say, hey, look, is there any merit to this? So if there is, let's talk about it. If there isn't, then you would report back and say, hey, we had a committee meeting and, no new action. Or, hey, we had a committee meeting, we're looking at this issue, we're still kind of diving into it to see if there's a solution or a remedy or another way of doing it. So you may have multiple committee meetings, and then you would come and bring a recommendation to council. Again, the committee only just is a recommending body. They can't pass anything because there's only 3. And then council, in your infinite wisdom, will decide whether you, I'm not part of council, whether you think it's a good idea to pass a resolution or an ordinance affecting some type of change. I know we have a couple of things that are sort of on the agenda. I don't know if you'll talk about that or anything else as it relates to public safety or anything else, but there's always something. And we want to be respectful of people's time. I mean, we could probably sit in a committee meeting, hours every week, and that's just not productive. But it's important, so we need to make sure that when we come to it, we're focused, we're ready to roll. As you know, I'm not on any of these committees, but I certainly like to attend all of them, just so that I can offer whatever 2 cents that I may have, if at all, or just sit back and make sure that I watch good government in process. So that's kind of the way I see it. It's not rocket science, but let's go. It's 2026. Everyone ready?
Got no choice. Let's go.
Other than that, I look forward to great things this year. We're going to hopefully dig a trench down across the front of the vice mayor's house for a water line, which is super exciting. It's, borrowing money, or getting money from the federal government it's an adventure, right, Jerry? We're thankful for the funds and everything else, but there's got to be an easier way to do some things, and thank God there's people in the room that can help streamline government. Other than that, there's going to be some things that I'm looking at and going to bring to council from time to time on trying to suggesting things that will make us better, more efficient, more cost-effective. When I first took this job, I don't even remember what year it was, a long time ago, I likened Terrace Park to Coca-Cola. You would think that's a very strange analogy, but remember when Coca-Cola decided to come up with new Coke and screw with the formula? Didn't work out so well. And I'm not going to mess with the formula that we have here. I'd like to think that people think that I haven't, nor has council, because we've got a really, really good thing going. We can just get a little bit better and a little bit more efficient and maybe cost-effective where needed. Other than that, we're spinning like a top, and I'm pretty darn proud to sit in this chair for the next 2 years. And then after that, someone else can be the keeper of the formula of Coke. That is all this mayor has. He's excited for the year, and we'll move on to Chief Fiscal Officer, Mrs. Lyons.
I have no report. Thank you.
This is our lawyer, Jeff Forbes. They call him a solicitor. Does he have a report?
Thank you, Mayor. Just briefly, and I picked the wrong night to do this because, your state rep is here and she's going to tell me, she'll correct everything. But I was just going to tell council, since our last meeting, that sort of package of 4 property tax reform bills, they were passed, the governor has signed them, we're waiting for them to go into effect. And we will continue to watch it and see how that may impact the village. But I think if you look at them, you will find that it's not nearly as draconian as we thought it might be for local governments. There will be an impact, but we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out.
I think it's certainly not what I was fearing the most.
It's not the constitutional amendment that's being proposed that would just do away with property tax. So,
Jeff, can you do a top-line overview of what that?
sure, I mean, very, very high level, essentially, those bills work together to provide some property tax relief for property owners. One way that that happens, and the way that may be most relevant here, is with respect to like the growth of inside millage. Typically, that just went up with however valuation of property went up. And if the property valuation went up really big, then inside millage also went up. And she, as long as she's shaking her head yes.
We may be calling in the lefty here in a minute.
But for example, now on the inside millage for municipalities, that increase is more tied to the rate of inflation. So even if property tax valuations go up by a big percentage, that same percentage is not going to necessarily hit the homeowners, because the inside millage rate can only go up by, and I'm not saying it's complicated, but it's like an average of the last three years of inflationary rates. So that's one way that property owners will get some relief, but it's also potentially a way that you will not, it won't generate as much income necessarily as you may be used to. That's one, I mean, that's just one of them. One has, one part of it has to do with county budget commissions and their review of proposed levies. Honestly, my understanding is they've always had the authority to do what they're doing anyway, what this bill talks about. So I don't foresee a lot of big changes from that. But the theory is, when you say to the county budget commission, we need a levy of X mills, that budget commission has the authority to look at that and say, we need to compare that to your carryover that you've have from year to year, and they may ask you. In the past, I think they just get it, they sort of stamp it, they put it on the ballot. They may ask you to sort of provide some backup of why you think you need. If you have this much carryover, and I'm not speaking about Terrace Park specifically, but there are communities that have levies and they carry over more than 100% of that revenue. And the Budget Commission has always had the authority to slow that down, but I think this just adds some process to that.
They don't want local governments sitting on a ton of cash and asking for more.
Exactly, yeah, and I think, but for example, there may be, and this is kind of what this spells out, there may be circumstances where you are carrying a lot over from year to year and still asking for that levy of the same millage, not because you're just trying to bank a giant rainy day fund. Perhaps it's because you say, we know that in 2027,
We need a new fire truck.
we're going to be undertaking this big project. So we knew we had to carry over more. And it just kind of sets out a process where if the Budget Commission says, wait a minute, you got a whole bunch of money in the bank, why do you need this levy? You can say, because this has been our planning process. We know that in this year, we have to buy a new fire truck. We have to do whatever. So it really, that's why I say the way that they all worked out, it's not, I don't think it's going to have the impact that we were necessarily afraid of to begin with, so. But we'll continue to watch it, and we'll see how they play out.
Am I allowed to come up?
Absolutely.
Oh, man, I thought that I had it all right.
No, you had it all exactly right. Hi, State Rep Rachel Baker. I just wanted to come and say hi to the new members and welcome. And as you guys, the old members know, I like to try to come every 6 months just to sit. I don't need to talk usually, but just so I know what's going on, so I'm representing you well and that I'm approachable to you all. But I will add on the 335. So you had it exactly right. I just wanted to clarify because I was one person that did vote yes on it. And I know that I came here, we talked about how devastating it would be for you all. I was of a no vote on it the first round. And so I wanted to explain my change to a yes. And that was that they changed the bill. And so it does not decrease what you're getting now. It doesn't, like originally it was going to claw back and decrease. Now it only changes in the future. What you can get can only increase as much as the average inflation changes over 3 years for next year. So yes, it could be a cut and probably will be for lots of places next year, but it won't be a clawback of money you already have. It's just going to be a planning for the future. And honestly, I hate when people say this, but looking at all the options, honest to God, I hope you can believe me, was the best option for you guys and for local communities. With some of the versions of what it looked like, it was going to be devastating. And so our caucus agreed to give some votes to get it over the line if it was compromised to a certain point. So I did vote yes. Initially, I told you guys I was going to vote no, but I can promise you it was in the best interest compared to what my choices were at that point. And I don't know that it's going to have devastating impacts. I think it's going to decrease projections years down, but not ever claw back what you already have. And we can always go back. We're still working on the property tax packages as we speak. So wanted to clarify my vote on it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And feel free to reach out, any questions or concerns about it.
Oh, I was just going to say that concludes what will likely be my longest report of 2026.
I've been here.
You know, I commend Representative Baker because she called me shortly after, either right before or after, to say, hey, and gave me that same explanation. I just want to let you know, here's the reason why I said I was opposed to it. This is why I'm voting for it. And it totally makes sense to me. You have to pick the battles that are worth fighting, and I wish more people would operate in a collaborative give and take scenario. So, great. We appreciate.
Thank you for answering the call. I called all the locals like an hour before. I'm like, I'm being asked to do this, and it's making sense to me. I just want to make sure no one screams, and no one screamed. So I was like, all right.
I mean, you have attended more Village Terrace Park Council meetings than any prior state representative in decades, as far as I can remember. So we appreciate it. We appreciate your guidance, you looking out for us, and you're welcome anytime. Solicitor, you're finished.
That is it.
Okay. Clerk of Council, Mrs. Lyons.
I just want to remind everyone to sign up for Code Red. It's a great New Year's resolution and is a great way to learn about what's going on. Need to know only, otherwise visit our website. Thank you.
Look at that. EMS Chief John Maggard.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a word about Jennifer, who was, Ms. Van Fleet, who was sworn in tonight. She is a certified EMT who is looking to get some more time in, actually on the ambulance, because she is currently a police and fire dispatcher at CVG. So there's a lot of that experience under her belt right now. Other than that, I'm pleased to say our new recruit class is online to get started January 20th. We have 8 new recruits, 2 of whom I believe are residents. I would love to have more Terrace Park residents. It just streamlines everything in terms of our response time and availability of staffing. But I appreciate everyone who has signed up for it, and we're looking forward to getting the class started. Should go through the probably first week of May. And that's the end of my report if there's no questions.
Thanks, Chief. Fire Chief George Hefner.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a pretty short report today. Just want to let everybody know we've been off to a great start this year so far. We've had 2 heavily attended trainings so far, and we have responded to several natural gas leaks over the course of the month so far, and 1 large structure fire in Marymount. Working on a volunteer class again this year. We've got some pretty good traction of people that want to join, so we're going to explore that coming up. That's all I've got.
Thanks, Chief. I appreciate it. Police Chief and Village Administrator Gerald Hayha.
Thanks, Your Honor. I'd like to address the increase in electric bikes among the young citizens in Terrace Park, and I blame Santa. It's been reported that some of them have been operating recklessly, darting into traffic, not stopping at the stop signs, etc.
So at this point, I've instructed our officers to stop anyone violating the law so that we can educate them, find out who has them and what type or class of bike is being driven, because different regulations apply to different e-bikes. However, when on the road, they all must follow the law. I'm also in the planning stage with ICRC. I contacted them today for them to come out and produce a short informational piece with the assistance of the Terrace Park EMS that will be geared towards the parents, that will explain just how dangerous these motorized bikes can be. Once the segment is completed, we will inform everyone via code red. Again, it's so important to be on there, and you'll be able to view it on our website. And unfortunately, the situation is not unique to the village. Lieutenant Pruitt's research found that the same complaints are coming from all over the state. So these are a new item. All the parents want to make sure that their kids have them, and I don't think they realize that they're little rockets, and you need to be responsible when you're on them. It's no different than a motorcycle. So that's our goal, is to educate both young and old.
Hey, Jerry? Are
Yes, ma'am.
helmets required or optional on those? Is there,
It depends on what type it is.
Yeah.
Some are allowed on the sidewalk, some aren't. You know, same with the street. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, we have rollerblades on the street. You know, they're not street legal. They're not supposed to be there. But as long as everyone's following the rules, then we tend to stay safe. I mean, we have a motorized skateboard. Again, like I said, common sense has got to kick in. I just don't think that some of the folks realize that they're giving a very powerful tool to a very young mind. And so, you know, with the help of EMS, I think they can explain that there is some particular damage that can be done if you're hit or hit something. You know, going 20 miles an hour going versus 12, you know, on a regular bicycle. Bicycles tend to sit up. So there's a lot of variables. So as I get more information, then I'd like to get with Mrs. Ingebrigtsen, and we'll put something together. But as soon as we can get this informational piece out, we'll let everybody know via code red. I have a pre-construction meeting on Wednesday, the 21st, with our engineer and the contractor for Elm Road, for the Elm Road Waterline project. At that point, I'll get the information on when they plan to start and the length of time to complete the project. I don't expect it to be very long, provided they have the material and the weather. I'm thinking a week or two. Except 2 weeks, maybe. Once they get started, because I'm going to have the roads blocked. And so that's even more important to have code red, because, you know, at certain points, Elm's going to be closed to the swim club, and then vice versa. I want to try and make sure that the swim club is open all the time, but we're going to have to work with them, and it might be a problem for a day or something. But stay tuned to code red, because you'll get the latest and greatest information.
When do you expect shovel one?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Okay.
We're meeting on the 21st to plan that. The only other thing I have is, I had the insurance company that the Ohio Municipal League recommends submit a quote for our municipal liability insurance. And it appears that we could save approximately about $8,000. I have a meeting with in the morning with the rep, and to compare apples to apples, to make sure that, you know, that it's side by side what we've had in the past. The Ohio Municipal League they do their homework. They represent a lot of communities in the state of Ohio, and so I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say. So next month, I may come back and say, we have a quote from a different insurance company.
Big fan of the same coverage or more for less.
Correct.
Sounds like a pretty good formula.
Right.
Thanks.
That's the end of my report.
Great. On those bikes, if you want to know what's going on in Terrace Park, just open up TP list for a second. And I'll remind everyone that is not operated or sanctioned at all by the village. It's a private system. It is a horrible place to report an infraction, a crime, or something that needs to be brought to the village's attention, because, it's a good place to, sell a refrigerator. But, you read that and you hear about, and I firsthand saw this young man come down Stanton towards Miami. It might have been 50 miles an hour. And I'm like, you hit a patch of gravel, it's gonna be ugly. And so, the police are not parents. They're not your kids' parents, right? You are their parents. Yeah, it's very difficult to legislate parenting. So, to the parents out there, whether it be an e-bike or a skateboard with a motor on it, whatever, one of those scooters, those things are getting faster and faster, and our streets are in great shape, but from time to time we may have a little pebble in the road. So just be careful, man. It scared the death out of me. I felt like I became my dad by yelling at them, slow down. They didn't hear me. They were already at the church by then. Any member of council outside of their committee? Let's move on to reports, resolutions, and ordinances of standing committees. Planning and zoning, John Gasky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no report this evening.
I saw that there was no variance
Besides,
applications, is that right?
There was no variance applications. It's all quiet on the western front, except for the Indiana Hoosiers go to the national championship on Monday. It's going to be great.
Good. Finance, Mrs. Sharp.
Jeff already covered my report for the evening, so no, I don't have any report for the evening.
You will be active in the calendar year.
I will be busy in the future, yes.
Great. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Lehman.
I have no report, Mayor.
Thank you. How about rules and law, Mrs. Worthland?
I have no report, Mr. Mayor, but I do want to just thank the community so much for putting your trust in me. And I'm truly grateful and honored, and I look forward to serving everybody. And, just thank you.
Great. We're lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Public Works, Mr. Lindell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No report.
Public Safety, Mrs. Ingebrigtsen.
Thank you, Mayor. So I guess I will start with a question. Do we need to do anything with this resolution
I'm
for the
sorry,
police, or no?
Just pass it. All I'm doing is,
Right. Promoting her from part-time to full-time?
correct, because she's
Okay.
already been sworn in
Okay,
at the, so.
okay. So we'll go through the process?
Yep, just treat it like any other.
Perfect, okay. Well, then I will introduce and advance to the third reading, resolution number 1-1, 2026, resolution appointing Victoria Tremaine as full-time police officer for the Village of Terrace Park Police Department and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Gasky,
Aye.
Ingebrigtsen,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Lindell,
Aye.
Sharp,
Aye.
Worthland.
Aye.
I move to adopt the resolution as an emergency.
Second.
Gasky,
Aye.
Ingebrigtsen,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Lindell,
Aye.
Sharp,
Aye.
Worthland.
Aye.
Okay, and then I just wanted to sort of to tag on this whole discussion about e-bikes. Obviously, the Public Safety Committee will be working closely and has already been working closely with Chief Ahau to make sure that we're treating the issue with the attention that it needs. I've got 2 children who are squarely within the demographic of e-bike riders in the neighborhood. I don't think there's a kid on the e-bike in this neighborhood that I don't know. And so I have, a vested interest in making sure that we avert any tragedies in the neighborhood. And do everything we need to do to make sure that the rules and the laws of Ohio and potentially, any future laws or ordinances that we may want to adopt in Terrace Park are being enacted swiftly.
Depending on what happens, you can make a lot of your kids' friends very happy.
Yeah, I might not be the most popular mom in the neighborhood in a few months here.
Oh, the kids won't come over anymore. Good, perfect.
Yeah, no one's hanging out at the Ingebrigtsen house anymore.
Great.
That's the end of my report.
Great, thanks. Look forward to see what comes out of that. Well, how about any continued business? Is there any new business? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor, say aye.
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 See you in February. There is a February change.
Yes, Lauren, I hadn't heard back from you.
Good, sorry.
Good. So
I meant to-
February will be February 11th. I'll confirm it via email.
And I apologize, this is solely on me. Despite this robust paycheck that I get from the village every month, I have another job, and it took me out on the 10th, so I appreciate it. See you in February.
Okay.